Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Zuno Limited 2020 Annual General Meeting. As you're all aware, today we are conducting the meeting by webcast due to the issues with COVID. For those who don't know me, my name is Don Clark and I will be chairing today's meeting. Here with me today, although you obviously won't be able to see them, the Managing Director, Mr. Paul Hislop, my fellow Non-Executive Director, Alyssa Hanson, our Chief Financial Officer, Paul Ravlick, and our Auditor, Drew Townsend from Paul Chadwick. I note the meeting has been formally convened in accordance with the company's constitution and the Corporations Act. As a quorum of members is present, I declare the meeting open and I'll take the notice of meeting as read. Today we've decided to have all of the formal part of the meeting first, and then we'll do a series of presentations both from our Managing Director, Mr. Hislop, and from our regional managers on the business and what's happening in the business, and we'll provide obviously for questions to be asked at the end of those presentations. As detailed in the letter to shareholders and in the notice of meeting, there will be no live voting today. Voting on the two resolutions will be determined and has been determined by proxy votes only. We will show the proxy results for each of the resolutions as we deal with them. The first item of business is to consider the annual report of the company. And a copy of the annual report has been sent to all shareholders who requested it, and it is available on the company's website for anyone who wishes to have a look at it. I'd like to invite shareholders to ask questions on the reports and the conduct of the audit. You can ask questions by typing them on the question box on your portal, or you can also have the opportunity to ask questions of Paul and any of the other regional managers after the presentation. I might just pause there for 30 seconds or a minute just to allow anyone who has any questions about the annual report, the conduct of the audit, or anything else to do with the financial management of the company to type their question so that we can actually look at it and address it at this point of the meeting. So I might just pause for 30 seconds or so. Paul, are there any questions in relation to the annual report or the audit or anything of that nature for either the company or for our auditor? I assume from the answer is no, in which case we'll now move on to the resolutions. I will be voting all open proxies in favour of the I'll be voting all open proxies to the chair in favour of each resolution. The first resolution is for the approval of the remuneration report for the year ended 30 June 2020, as found in the annual financial report. Does anyone have any questions in relation to the remuneration report? And for the relevance of the voting, proxy voting, the slide on the screen now will show a very significant vote in favour of acceptance of the report. Are there any questions? Paul, are there any questions we need to respond to? No. There being no questions, the proxy voting for the resolution 1 is those in favour, which is or for, which is the total of the for and the undirected, all of which will be voted in favour. So it's something of the order of about 18.5 million votes in favour, against 179,207, 10,275 abstentions. I declare the resolution passed. I now move to the second resolution, and that is for my re-election as a director. Again, voting is by proxy in respect of this resolution, and the proxy votes are on the screen. Again, a significant vote for in favour of my re-election. And bearing in mind that it relates to me, I won't propose my own re-election. I might hand over to my fellow director, Alyssa Hanson, to propose the resolution.
Thanks, Don. I'll move the resolution that Mr. Don Clark, who retires in accordance with Clause 6.1.2 of the company's constitution and being eligible, be re-elected as a director of the company. And you can see the proxy results. The resolution passes, and I declare the resolution passed. I'll hand back to you, Don.
Thank you, Alyssa. And it's a privilege to have been re-elected again. It's been an exciting last 12 months for the company, and I look forward to the next 2 to 3 years with an equal amount of enthusiasm. So thank you very much to all shareholders who have voted for me and supported the company. As that now concludes the formal part of the meeting, I'll close the actual meeting itself and hand over to our Managing Director, Paul Hislop, and the management team, who will provide an update on the company, its activities, and the outlook for calendar 2021. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Don. Can everybody hear me okay? I assume so.
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. So look, this is an unusual AGM, obviously, but it's also been a fairly unusual year for the company. It's been a tumultuous year. There's been some work done on this company this year that's been incredible. Long hours, hard work, no holidays, and stress all the time. So I've got a great team of people around me, and I'd like to thank everybody before we get underway. We've got a really good team. So I'd like to talk about, I'd like to hand over the historical information now to Paul Ravlich, and Paul will discuss the group financial highlights for the June 2020 year end. Paul. Paul Ravlich, I can't hear you. Is there something wrong?
Sorry, beg your pardon.
Can you start again?
I'm just starting. Sorry. Okay. So thank you, Paul. The group had stellar financial results for FY20 as follows, and all numbers are in New Zealand dollars. Group revenue of 38.3 million, profit before tax of 20.4 million, profit after tax of 16.7, cash at bank of 10.3, total assets 34.7 million, and total equity of 21 million. Great financial ratios, return on assets at 48% and return on equity at 79.5%. Our net tangible asset per share was 12.81 cents. Our earnings per share was 10.2 cents, and our dividend was 3.2 cents. Now looking at our balance sheet summary, we have a very strong balance sheet with sufficient capacity to fund future growth. Cash on hand at 10.3 million, inventories of 13.2 million. So it's a great build-up of inventories, enough inventories to last us for a very long time to meet immediate orders. Total assets of 34.7 million and total liabilities of 13.7 million. And that includes deferred income of 1.3 million, which will get recognised to sales as those orders are delivered. Total equity in the company is 21 million, and that is 61% of our total assets. So looking at the next slide, our revenue and other income and profit reported. As I said, we had 38.3 million revenue for the 12 months, 30th June 2020, and that was up from 1.8 million the previous year. Our gross profit was 28.3 million, that was 73.9%, and the previous financial year to that was 0.8 million. Our profit before tax was 20.4 million, and the prior year to that was 2.4 million loss, so a terrific turnaround. 16.7 million for profit after tax, and a 2.4 million loss for the previous year. Our operating EBITDA was 20.6 million. So I'd like to hand you now back to our Managing Director, Mr. Paul Hislop.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Look, everyone's seen those numbers before, but everyone is wanting to know what's happening in the future. So just on the summary of what's gone on in the past, and this will continue, strong overall financial management and performance, high gross margins. We're a strong cash generation company. We have a low overhead policy. We don't fly around first class all over the place, and we don't fly anywhere at the moment, so the overheads are even lower. And we're a low capital investment model as well. So we use contract manufacturers. We outsource a lot of stuff wherever we can. Okay, so lean and mean, high margin, generate lots of cash is what I like in this business. Okay, so the first quarter financial highlights, I suppose. Our first quarter for the 21 year, we did $15 million in cash receipts, almost $3 million positive, dividend payment out of $5 million, and we expect a strong operating cash flow for FY21. People keep asking me, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, all I'm going to say is it's going to be better than the FY20 year. I'm now going to hand over to Jamal Mccleary, who's our new General Manager in the UK and Europe. Jamal worked with me here at the office for 8 months before he went over there. He's only been in the country a couple of months, and already he's made a big difference over there and left his mark. So I'll hand over to you now, Jamal.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Paul. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Jamal Mccleary, and I've recently taken up the position of General Manager UK and Europe some 7 weeks ago now, after a 9-month induction in headquarters alongside Paul and the senior executive team. Prior to this, I was a distributor of Zuno products with agents across New Zealand. Okay, so our new CFO here in the UK, Ashley Paul-Pass, was appointed in April 2020 to take control of the financial aspects of the UK operation and to provide some executive support to the UK team, and works very closely with the group CFO, Mr. Avlich, whilst providing some commercial support for the UK sales team. Our new microbiologist and technical advisor, Jade Pellett. Jade is a vital addition to the team. She only joined us earlier this week and has had an impact already, correlating the NHS data and report, which will be released shortly. The aim is for Zuno in the UK to take control of our own testing and to engage with existing and prospective customers to facilitate with any external test requirements, as well as our spokesperson with hygiene within the hygiene and health sector. I was pleased to finally arrive here to find a motivated group. Although there has been some personnel changes, the current team as it stands is a tight group with great culture that has been developing. I now want to cover off the white elephant in the room, as it were, the UK trading standards, which I'm sure there is plenty of interest in. As you'll be well aware, there have been some complications with this regulatory body. On arrival to the UK, my first port of call was to engage an expert in the trading standards field. This led me to Chris Emmons, Quick Checks, who has worked with us, has worked for and against the trading standards and is highly awarded by the trading standards. Now, Chris quickly concluded not only that the issue would be easily resolved, but more importantly, presented an opportunity to elevate the profile of Zuno with the story that presents itself in the wider media, which is developing as we speak. So in order to give a clear picture, I will start with the issues raised by trading standards and some facts around them. Number one, direct naming of viruses in our marketing. And number two, clarification around the longevity. Now, please note, not a request for withdrawal in regards to longevity. Withdrawal was voluntary in good faith and a precaution in case there was a longevity standard to meet that we were unaware of. Okay, so let's cover virus claims first. In Australia, we can make COVID-19 claims. In the UK, we cannot, even though we pass EU-UK standards against enveloped viruses, which include the coronavirus family. This was the main concern of trading standards and was addressed immediately. Okay, so now look at longevity clarification. There are no longevity standards anywhere in the world at present. Therefore, there are no guidelines or parameters to adhere to. GLP test results, these are good lab practice results, are the foundation of what we say about our products. Now, it's really important to understand what this means. GLP is a reputable global accreditation that guarantees reliable quality assurance. GLP labs are highly regulated to international standards to ensure the integrity of scientific data for all products in development for human and animal health. Trading standards have been in possession of our numerous GLP lab results since the issue was raised back in June. It is frustrating and disappointing to us that these have not been independently verified by them, even at the least, simply verifying the authenticity of the documents themselves through their unique identification code that garners each document. On the basis of this, we have reintroduced our claims of longevity. We believe and have been advised, based on the integrity of the lab results we have appointed and conducted, independent and GLP accredited, our claims are fully substantiated and cannot be refuted. So the next slide, regulatory approvals. Look, this is getting a bit more exciting and not quite so serious, of course, with this text. You can see the regulatory approvals across Europe have been mounting nicely, opening up new markets and opportunities from the list mentioned here. Registration processes are underway in the following countries: Albania, Bulgaria, and so on. All of these territories have customers or potential distributors eager to purchase. So we're excited about where this leads to. Now, moving on to our key distributors. Bunzl is a large key customer, and I'll cover this off in the following slide. Killis is another big customer, but in slightly different markets, and is in the process of emphasizing Zuno further with a commitment to push with their marketing. One Spray have been developing nicely, and we see really good growth with them across many sectors and territories in Europe. TH Bosnia covers several territories in that region, and we've seen them go well beyond their minimums, and we are impressed with their projections. Zuno Germany, lots going on here. We've got short, we've got medium and long term. We are happy with their growth and commitment across all aspects of Zuno, lots in the pipeline. Key distributors continued. Bunzl UK. Now, as you can see from the following slide, Bunzl reaches across many different sectors and is a a global multi-billion-dollar respected company, similar to Italian Silvestre, another strategic global partner. It was interesting when recently both companies highlighted to me they feel our pain and what we have been going through as a first mover with unique technology experiencing rapid growth. And their intention is to support and stand by us as they see our technology is here to stay. Like the motor car left behind the horse and carriage, Wi-Fi has left behind dial-up internet. Now short-term germ protection is giving way to Zuno's long-lasting, durable antimicrobial. Our technology literally lies beneath traditional methods, forming the foundation of a whole new area of microbial protection. And these companies want to be part of this inevitable transition. We see a model forming that combines distributors and services providers that can be rolled out across multiple territories. 3 countries have emerged as a natural starting point and progression for this model: France, Czech Republic, and Sweden, to name a few of the countries that we currently have registrations. So moving to the next slide, Italian Silvestre. Italian Silvestre are a very big facilities management provider, and they're currently servicing the majority of the rail networks across the UK, including First Group, Alstom, Keolis, London South East Rail, Great Western Rail. This has led to a transfer of knowledge and product to First Group US, which is First Student, Greyhound, and First Freight. First Group are global and possibly the biggest in the US in their sector. The transport sector is becoming a really big growth area for us globally. Sales to Italian Silvestre have been significant globally from July to October this year. Key sales and pipelines. Now, there are many pipelines initiatives, as you can see, and to be honest, this is although the page is full, we could probably fill another 3 or 4. Okay, but I'm just going to go through in a little detail just for a couple of these for you. Okay, so let's have a look here. I think we'll go into Zuno Sports. Now, this is a growing sector for us worldwide, with several high-profile Premiership-led clubs already using Zuno here in the UK. Once again, with utilising our partnerships, we're developing a focused and specialised solution for stadia, training facilities, and travel within the sports industry. Transdev is another exciting one for us as well. Transdev is a well-established company that looks after passenger train authorities in 16 countries. Our success with the UK transport has led to Transdev's interest, and we are happy with the progress we're making here as well. Large retail companies, we're garnering quite the interest here too. We are talking with several. Really excited about this part of the business too. Now, finally, I would like to take the opportunity to congratulate Paul Hislop on how well he has managed this company. To coin a popular phrase in recent times, in unprecedented times, I believe there would not be many CEOs that have had to experience the rapid growth of a company in a short space of time under the conditions we see ourselves in globally and the restrictions that this entails. The way in which Paul has managed to orchestrate the personnel and the many moving parts is something of inspiration, and I'm proud and honoured to be part of this company. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamal. As everyone has heard, a lot going on in the UK and Europe, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger in that region. And we're building a good team up there. We've got good facilities. We're looking for new facilities up there. We've got some great partnerships coming on board. Like, incidentally, without our knowledge, the Metropolitan Police in the UK tested our product against human COVID-19 at one of the government laboratories in the UK. They hammered it, and they put an order in for 50,000 bottles, and that'll be a monthly order. So that's just a little bit of a bit more information there. So a lot happening in the UK. We only found out about this testing afterwards. They tested it secretly. and it was against the human strain of the COVID-19. So the police department in the UK will be becoming a large customer and will be targeting other government business in the UK as well, big time. I'm now going to hand over to Paul Morrison, who's the General Manager for Australia and New Zealand. Paul's been involved with Zuno for a few years as a customer first. Then he helped me set up the Korean market a few years ago. He helped me set up the Canadian market a few years ago. So early on in the year, he was looking for something to do. So I suggested that he come and work full time with me at Zuno. I think he regrets that now, because I think all his hair's fallen out now. Like, he didn't have much to start with, but I think it's almost all gone now. So I'll hand over to you now, Paul. And put your microphone on.
New Zealand within the group, and still and our new warehouse, and this was the demand that we've been, and also to inject plenty of product. We continue to be in or out of lockdown here in New Zealand, in both the Australian market. Our B2B focus remains, and we're putting some good strategies in place to now look at our backyard here and also within the Australian market, as well as supporting our growth. Digital marketing here in New Zealand, primarily to the business to consumer market, but it's now also working in that B2B space, so that we can look at how we can best support our partners in that area, and that will grow over the next number of months as well. We continue to have great support from NZT around funding, and that really helps with our growth strategies, both here and continuing overseas. We have putting into taste authorised.
Paul, can I butt in for a minute? You seem to have a really terrible feed there, sound-wise.
Not sure what I can do about the country at the moment. Is that any better?
No, look, why don't I take over? I'll take over Australia and New Zealand, okay? Your feed isn't so good. So Paul was just saying how we're developing the B2B and the B2C out of the new warehouse. We're partnering with a lot of good companies in Australia and New Zealand, obviously. Our online sales have been strong. Let's look at some of the regulatory approvals we have in Australia and New Zealand. We've got TGA for our surface product, and we can make COVID claims. We got involved with Qantas a while ago, and we're part of the Fly Well program. They've ordered 30 million sachets off us. We're doing good sales went into childcare and education, focusing on the health and hygiene, and G8 are one of our bigger customers there. They've got 600 centres in Australia, new 3PL provider in Melbourne to speed up the deliveries in Australia, and we've got distribution agreements now with John's Ling Group, RestoreX, and we've look, Australia and New Zealand has quietened off a bit in the last few months. It has quietened off a little bit. I think everyone's got a bit of an anti-COVID feeling. We're still making reasonable sales, but our focus at the moment is really on the Northern Hemisphere, and not so much on Australia and New Zealand, although we are looking at some very strong partnership opportunities in Australia at the moment with large facilities management companies because, look, I think everyone's had a guts full of COVID in Australia and New Zealand. To be honest, we've all been in and out of lockdown. We've been sort of all over the place, and there's a bit of anti-COVID feeling at the moment, but sales are still strong. We've got great brand awareness in Australia and New Zealand now, so it's not going to be our main business in the future because there just isn't the same population as there is in other parts of the world. So we'll move off Australia and New Zealand. I'll introduce you now to Tom French in the USA. Earlier on in the year, we bought our distributor out in the USA and we decided to run this as a head office operation. Tom French is well known to the company. He's come in as the regional manager for the USA, Canada, Mexico, and South and Central America. So far, things are looking good, but I'll hand over now to Tom French.
Thank you, Paul. It's great to be here. And as Paul mentioned, I have been with the company since 2015 when it was part of the U.S. Master Distributor. And as of the 1st of November, we've joined as part of Zuno, the whole company. And so one of the exciting things that we have here to talk about in the U.S. is that our manufacturing partner has built a chemical reactor, has purchased one, and it's allowing the company to make its own raw materials. And this is a significant leap forward. And we don't see any limitations in being able to provide for the demand that we are in the process of generating. So that's very exciting. We're also in the process of getting a new office facility that is both office and warehouse, and we will take greater control over our inventory and the ability to service both Canada, Mexico, and Central and South America. One of the important aspects, one of the challenges that we've had in the US is the current regulatory position that our product falls within. We do have an EPA registration, and it is a good registration. We are looking to upgrade that registration to include more of the, COVID has opened up an opportunity for a new arrow in the quiver of the EPA for this class of technology, which heretofore has been limited to materials preservation. And now they're opening up their consideration to public health organisms for this technology. And we are at the front of the line and going to be submitting a new EPA registration that will allow us to make not only hospital grade disinfection claims, but it will also will have an N-list registration, which will address COVID specifically. And we will be at the front of the line to comply with the EPA's new regulatory guidance for persistence and durability, which are will be a significant leap forward and again, be very competitively distinctive in the United States. Part of our becoming part of the Zuno organization globally is that we will be melding our current website with that of the parent company. And web sales have been a significant driver in 2020. And we're looking to upgrade our presence with a more leveraged and combined website with the corporate site. In terms of other exciting news is that not only are we well established in Canada and the United States, we have a Mexico distributor who has just passed all of its equivalent of EPA and FDA regulations. And we are talking about an initial order that should be placed this month, which is significant news. And they have a large prospects already lined up. So we're going to be hitting that ground running and filling that pipeline very quickly. Panama is also going to be the hub of our Central American region. and we have identified a new distributor there, and we're making great strides in getting them set up and getting through the regulatory process there. Puerto Rico and Jamaica are also interesting opportunities that are evolving quickly, and we're looking at other ports of call within the Caribbean, and so that's exciting. Another interesting advancement or innovation that we have taken on is we have sub-registered, sub-licensed the Zuno product in a flanker strategy with an existing company that was looking to bring our class of technology under their brand, and we will be controlling that rollout and managing that strategically with the Zuno brand in the US. And we think that that flanker will not only boost our volume, but also give us excellent leverage and scale in the market. In terms of distributor overview, our strategy has been, because the American market is so large, we wanted to pick a handful of very strategic distributors and partners that we can manage that will give us leverage in the market and reach lots of the different sectors that we have identified. And so we have a list of excellent partners that we're very proud of, and we think will give us great leverage in the market. We also have a whole host of agents that we have engaged with that bring us specific expertise in different verticals, and we are leveraging them strategically and coordinating all of those efforts pretty effectively, and have a very robust pipeline. We're also proud that we've just added a few more partners and distributors that have expertise in different sectors. VB EnviroCare is going to help us penetrate more into the pharmaceutical and medical markets. We have a couple of companies that are in the provisioning of sanitation services. So not only Zuno as a product, but also Zuno as a service. And those are great opportunities because the strategy of selling a Zuno as a service focuses on the benefit of what Zuno can deliver. And we're very excited about that. We've gotten, Jamal mentioned One Spray, and we have started to work with them, and they are bringing some leverage and international connectivity for us. So it's a nice global partner that we're bringing into the America's footprint. And All Clean Services, again, is another facilities management service company that has great connections and is really, really doing great work for us, getting the Zuno brand name out there and generating a lot of sales and awareness. So in terms of top customers, we have a broad mix of customers, large customers in particularly, largely in the transportation, education, and municipality space. They are a mix of both direct product sales as well as Zuno as a service. Some of the ones we're most proud of most recently was United Airlines in October, after several years of testing, has come out and made an announcement that we are their protected barrier product of choice, and we are extremely proud of that. You probably already know that we have been in CVS for many years, and they remain a very strong partner and a great badge of honor that because we are private labeled under their brand name, it gives us a lot of credibility and assurance for people who are looking at Zuno for the first time. We have a range of schools that you'll see here on this list. I won't go through them all, but again, large municipalities, large transportation companies, and we benefit greatly from the work that was done in the UK, winning over the first student business. And they are one of our largest customers and an excellent partner and an avid supporter of what we're doing, opening doors for us and being a great advocate in helping us land even more customers. And then lastly, one of the things that's interesting about the United States is because this technology is fairly new and most people haven't really come in contact with it, there is maybe because it's America, but there is a great deal of skepticism that a product could do what Zuno actually has the proven pedigree to do. And so a lot of the major customers that we are targeting, they want to see the product in action. And one of the great strategies that we have developed and put to good use, as you can see in this last page, Paul, if you'll go to the next page, is we have a dozen major tests underway. These are trials in the facilities of the customers in a controlled environment. Some of them are done directly by the customer. For example, 7-Eleven is, we're very excited about. We're making great progress. They are an enormous global customer, and they are doing a bake-off with our product and a competitor. And to date, we have done very well. And our global scale, we believe, is going to win the day because, again, they're a global company. Companies like Olympia Entertainment, a huge management company out of Detroit, manages several major sports teams and several of the major arenas there. And they are also testing with us. There's ARDA is a timeshare organization. They own 400,000 resorts, or they represent them all around the world. And they believe that having this level of protection in their facilities gives them a leg up and helps them re-engage with customers and welcome customers back into their timeshare units. Boeing is significant in that not only does it build on the Boeing Airbus certifications that we've gotten and the airline customers that we have globally, but they are building an aftermarket catalog, if you will, and they have asked us to join them. And so we are looking for great leverage to come from Boeing and being part of their suite of A-rated products. Grainger, I won't talk too much about that, but that comes to us through Kevin and the Animal Health Group. But they are, everybody knows who Grainger is, Fortune 500 industrial supplier, and we are at the final stages of our negotiations with them. Very exciting. We have several other major Jansan companies, and we're very proud of that. Also, Georgia poultry market. If Georgia was a country that produced chicken, it would be the 4th largest poultry producing area in the world. So it is a significant opportunity. And again, thanks to Kevin for enabling that, but that is a US opportunity. We're working with UPS, and they have close to 500,000 employees, and they're very conscientious about their employees' health. And so we are heavily engaged with them, which represents a massive opportunity. And then not least, but Delta Airlines is very eager to duplicate what United has done and the other major airlines that we have already under contract with us. Very exciting opportunities there. But moving into into the trial arena, as I was mentioning, trials are what our consumers or the US customers want to see. We have some major trials underway, a couple of airports. Olympia Entertainment, again, is doing a trial with us. Microsoft, we've been engaged with them. They want us to treat their 15 million square feet of corporate campus, which again could be a banner customer. American Medical Association, I mentioned 7-Eleven. We've got several hotels, other entertainment venues. All of these entertainment venues and hotels are looking for additional ways to help them reopen and welcome customers back in a safe and healthy manner. And they see Zuno as being central to their solution set. So I think in general, the Americas are poised for great growth and success. We've got a robust pipeline and lots of exciting things that we know will set us up for a very productive 2021.
Thank you, Tom. That's fantastic summary, and get that 7-Eleven deal, mate. 68,000 stores worldwide. We'll put a bronze plaque of you in the reception area of Zuno if you get that one over the line. Okay? So now we're going on to Dennis Montgomery, who looks after the MENA region and India. And Dennis, before he became a general manager in the company, he was a distributor for the company. He's well versed with the product. He's a real expert in presenting the product, setting up trials, collating data, etc. And he's Scottish, so he might be a little bit hard to understand. Lives in Dubai. I'll let you go now, Dennis.
Thanks for that introduction, Paul, and welcome everyone to sunny Dubai. Unfortunately, it's sunny most of the time, but I do miss the rain and the wind at times. As Paul has mentioned to you, we're based here in Dubai. If we can just move on to the next slide, Paul, please.
Sorry, I'm a bit slow. Thank you very much.
This is just to give you an overview of one of our recent contracts we have signed with a very large group called Fine Hygienic Holding. They have 6 very large paper mills spread across the world, and they sell their products into 70 countries worldwide. They're involved in masks, and we're now running trials at this moment in time with Zuno text embedded into the mask, and the initial results have been very good. We're looking to get similar to, as you can see in the bottom right here, the sterilized brand of the decade. We're looking to also get that for the Zuno labeled products. The chairman you can see here is an Olympic coach, the CEO of Fine Group, and we will be doing their own label under FineGuard brand. Also in the Middle East, we have a very good distributor called IBV, which is actually owned by one of the royal ruling family here, the Al Maktoum family. And this is just to give you an overview of some of the initial areas that they've already got into. The Capital Club in Dubai, which is one of the most astute gentlemen's clubs in Dubai. The Els Golf Club, Swiss International Science School, many restaurants, laundries, and again, schools, nurseries, colleges, etc. And we'll just move on to the next one. IBV are also, they have actually just launched their own sales portal here to cover the Middle East. They also have an IT company, so they're very well versed in online sales and how to set everything up. Things are looking very good for the initial month of that. There's some good orders in the pipeline. Further developments with them, they're speaking to one of the largest facility management groups here in the United Arab Emirates, and they're looking to join with them, and that will also give us substantial business opportunities across the Middle East. I've been with them in current talks with Emirates Airline, Dubai Taxi, and one of the biggest healthcare cities in the Middle East, Dubai Healthcare City. And again, the initial discussions have been very good. We're quite confident that we'll bring that on, hopefully before the end of the year. New lab trials have also been completed here with Dubai Central Laboratory. And as you can see in the slide here, the efficacy has been superb with kill rates of 99.99%, even at 30 days. I'm also looking to develop new sale channels in Bahrain. Sorry, Paul. Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Africa. We do have some very good distributors in Africa at the moment, but we're looking to develop further in that area. Bahrain should hopefully be on board with us within 6 months. The reason I'm saying that is it takes quite a bit of time to get the regulations all approved and passed in the country, but that's ongoing at this moment in time. And again, the next one. We've also looked at some very unique packaging for Zuno, for the hand sanitizer, which will reduce our weight and our overall green image in the markets. We're doing initial trials with the packaging at the moment, and we'll come back with a detailed report on that. We're also establishing a regional office here in Dubai in an area called Dubai Science Park. It's a very unique setup there. It has some of the best hospitals in the world located there. And we're looking to obviously filter in with them as we become established there. We're about to start trials this Sunday, actually, with the Accor Hotel Group. In the Mena region, they have 550 outlets, and it's growing. We did one initial trial for them, which they were very happy with. They've now asked us to come back and do 2 hotel rooms plus a full reception area in one of their grandest hotels here in Dubai. It's a 5-star hotel. So again, we'll be recording all the data, and that will all be fed back to New Zealand for them to use for marketing purposes. And that's basically it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much. And I'll pass you back to Paul.
Thank you, Dennis. Dennis is a bit of a one-man band at the moment in Dubai, but we are planning to build a bit of a team around him in the country. He's very busy, obviously. He's responsible for looking after India as well, which is a country that does have its challenges for us. But so Dennis is doing a great job, and we're expecting big things out of the region in the next 6 months. So we're now going to hand over to Michael Wu in Shanghai. Michael is a long-term Zuno distributor who has worked for the company as a agent. He's now moved into the role of managing China for us. He's moved to China. He's made a commitment. We've set up a Chinese company. In China, for instance, if you want to get any government, education, healthcare business up there, you really have to have a local company because they won't send money out of the country. Okay, so we're targeting military, government, education, local council up there as well, city business. So that's why we set up a Chinese company, a Chinese bank account, etc. That will have challenges from an audit point of view, but we'll worry about that afterwards. So I'll introduce Michael to you now. You there, Michael?
Yep. Can you see me?
We can see you.
Hey, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Wu from Zuno, China. I'm so pleased to have this opportunity to report to you about Zuno operation in China market. First of all, I want to say thank you to many shareholders for their suggestions and support to China market, especially for those who brought so many good business opportunity to us. And we are so grateful and hope to have a more participation and more leads introduced to us from you. After the outbreak of the COVID-19, Zuno adjusted China's market strategy to take the domination of the market in our own hands. So as to avoid harm to the company long-term interest and also the interest of our customers. That is because the agent only pursues short-term interest. That's why we established the Shanghai company, opened a Tmall overseas flagship store, established an independent bonded warehouse, and apply for the sales approval and the products registration for our products. And Zuno Shanghai was established in September 2020. And the Tmall overseas flagship store was officially launched on 10th of September 2020. By 10th of November, the total online sales has reached over 120,000 RMB, and the ranking of the store from the number 6,116 has been raised up to number 3,214. Number of the daily visitor has remained stable at around 300. And we have been invited to participate in Alibaba's Black Friday and Double 12 sales promotion activity this year. And at the same time, we're gradually increasing our investment in online promotional sales in order to improve the ranking and the sales of our store as soon as possible. Expand the brand awareness of the online retail market and create the more opportunity in other industries as well. Let me give you an example here. We have two companies that have found us through the Tmall overseas flagship store and hoping to cooperate with us to take Zuno products into the several major China airlines and the mother's baby offline retail market. So they can be seen that our Alibaba flagship store can not only bring us sales revenue, but also open a door for us to develop other professional markets and expand the influences of our products in the market. Our online sales plan is to open a flagship store on Alibaba first, and then we'll start Zuno's flagship store on other major e-commerce platforms in China at the right time to expand the product's exposure and popularity while expanding our online sales retail market as well. In addition to online retail business, we also value China's B2b customer market as well. We hope that through our technology advantage and with the help of the huge market demand caused by the epidemic, we can enter some professional markets that have a large demand for disinfectants, such as public health industry, public transport system, and the professional maternal and child markets. For the development of some professional market, we hope to develop it through cooperation with large institutions and powerful partners. Through their channel resources and relationships, we can quickly enter the certain field in the market. Of course, this requires the process, and especially we need to be patient and show our sincerity when choosing a partner. The China market is a huge market. It's not only because it's a 1.4 billion population, but also China is the world's second largest economy. And Chinese people have begun to move forward to pursuit of a large quality of life, including the personal and the family health and well-being. I believe Zuno's potential in China will become greater, and I hope that Zuno's development in China can continue to receive the support and help from everyone. And of course, Zuno will bring you a greater return also. So that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Look, thank you, Michael. We all absolutely understand the importance of China. As you said, the second biggest economy in the world. There's 1.5 billion people. There's about 300 to 400 million in the middle class, which is our market, and there's a lot of opportunities there. But we need to tread carefully. We need to get the regulatory approvals correct, which we have now. We need to get the support up there, the trademarks, the branding right. So steady as she goes, and I think next year is going to be a huge year in China. Mike was a good man. He's been around for a while. He's very genuine, honest, and sincere. So now I'm going to hand over to Kevin Story from Zuno Animal Health. Kevin approached me 3 years ago. He's a friend of mine and said, "Hey, Paul, what about I set up an animal health business? I'll focus on that while you focus on the rest of the stuff." So I said, "Okay, Kevin, go for it." So handing over to Kevin now.
Thanks, Paul, and yeah, thanks for the opportunity. It's been a very interesting and intense ride over the last 18 months in particular. And you know, given the fact that we're in this global pandemic, I think we've held things together well. We've held together the hard work we did last year overseas, and we've got some very good relationships and making some very good progress, as well as sales in our first full year as Zuno Animal Health. We intend to highlight the strategy and progress since our engagement as the global distributor for the Zuno technology in the animal health sector. After identifying the effects of the Zuno Z71 in the low production sector, that's for poultry and swine, it's been our dedicated focus, as these are the two largest protein sectors in the world. There's not a country that doesn't eat either pork or poultry to some extent. The Zuno technology, through numerous field studies and scientific testing, is proving unique financial and health benefits for the livestock industry. This is the key to long-term sustainable market. The key to long-term sustainable market is in investing in a suite of scientific and field-related studies to prove its effectiveness as an antimicrobial coating rather than a traditional disinfectant or sanitizer. Healthier livestock consume less food in the growth period, which in turn provides financial benefits through improved feed conversion ratios, or FCR as termed in the trade. Our field studies with poultry integrators over the past 18 months have provided results where the improved FCRs have averaged between what we call 4 and 5 points. Now, to put this in perspective, in the New Zealand poultry, with the New Zealand poultry integrator, they would value 1 point in the FCR improvement to be between $200,000 and $1 million per point, dependent on the bird volumes across their farms. So one of the largest in New Zealand, they would easily, 1 point would easily be worth $1 million to them. So discovering that these benefits by using the technology in the sheds, the Z71, by applying it, we have proven time and time again globally that we improve the health of the animal, which in turn they eat less food, and which obviously is what they adds profit to the bottom line. The implemented business strategy that we put in place after discovering this was our focus was on the poultry and swine side of the animal health. We appointed sub licensees in key markets and partners with the following processes: obtain product registration relevant to the animal contact and environment, identify willing participants in the livestock sector to collate field studies on poultry and swine farms, proving efficacy against common industry microbes and improved SCR performances.
Sorry, Kevin, can you please enable your camera?
My video is on. My video is on.
Thank you.
We don't need to see him. We can hear him.
Yeah. Okay. Interested in scientific studies on common industrial microbes from universities with agricultural faculties within the distributors' territories. Each country will only rely on studies that are completed within their own borders. So in both the swine and poultry market in the various regions, we have the distributors, we're having to carry out these studies to get acceptance in those markets. We've invested in Europe and the US in university studies to prove our effectiveness against certain viruses, and we have already run field trials and proven in live situations that we are effective against them, and this is the key to the ongoing success of the animal health part of the business. we have come up against challenges, acceptance in the livestock market because it is run tightly by the chemical companies, but we have overcome a lot of opposition, and we're starting to make really good ground in countries like Portugal and obviously Australia and New Zealand. We're working in Australia with the largest poultry integrators and also in New Zealand, and it's taken us 12 months to get in there, but it's all going according to plan. So as for Zuno Animal Health, we aren't just a company that promotes a product and drops it at the door. We offer technical and service expertise, establishing biosecurity protocols with the farms, the poultry farms and the swine farms. So we go in to these businesses, we look at their protocols in place for biosecurity, and we talk to them and we advise them on upgrading their biosecurities in lots of areas. You'd be surprised just how some of these farms are lax and they wonder why they have viruses, but we talk them through it, and we put together new biosecurity protocols where necessary. With the application of the product in a farm environment, we've spent the last 18 months critiquing that application, and we've come a long way. I remember the first shed we did with a machine that took us 4 hours, and the results weren't that fantastic. But today we can do an average size poultry shed, for example, in 15 minutes, and we get results where the ATP readings in those sheds are food grade. And over the period of, let's say, for a poultry farm where the birds are only for 42 days in a shed, we are proving that we keep the overall pathogen load, microbial load in that shed at a level that allows the birds to thrive. So those are the key points to the success in that area. So over the past 18 months, not so much this year, but last year there was a lot of travel, a lot of meeting potential distributors, because one of our key focuses was getting this out to various parts of the world. The fact that we had discovered it being so effective in the animal industry or livestock industry, we wanted to get it out there. So through various associations and networks, we put a platform of distributors together. That's growing still, but to date we have Australia, we have APM Animal Health, also an ASX listed company, and we've been working very well with them over the last 12, 13, 14 months under a license agreement, and we also are associated with APM Solutions in the US, who are promoting the product, and jointly we are running significant studies in the Iowa State University for diseases against swine. Also in the US, we've recently signed an agreement for animal health with a company that is connected with the university in Georgia State University, who are renowned in the poultry sector, and we're carrying out various scientific studies there to prove the effectiveness against poultry viruses also. Europe has been very hard to, purely because of registrations, but they are coming through. We have our registrations for animal through in Portugal, Hungary, and the UK, and Portugal in particular, and now Hungary are performing very well, and there's going to be huge growth in those areas over the next 6 to 12 months. We are confident of that. We today just heard that Portugal have signed an agreement with a large poultry integrator that it was only 15 months ago. I was up there with our poultry or our livestock distributor running trials. I spent 4 months there. We run trials. We thought they would come on board earlier, but that's how long it took. It took 14 months, and they're on board, and we're very excited about that. That business will be looking at approximately 15 tonne of product a quarter. Okay, sorry, I lost you there. It just come on screen. Okay, so key requirements for exponential growth. Australia extending our poultry footprint and continue with swine studies by our licensee APM Animal Health. We've got a plan in place for that, and that's working according to plan. In Australia, that seems to have kicked into life in the last month. It went quiet for a while because of the COVID, but that seems to be all back on track, and we're making progress there weekly. With the studies, once again, it comes back to studies, as Tom said earlier on. Our clients are all about study, proving in their regions, and being able to make the claims for this product as a veterinary use, and we're constantly onto that, and we're on top of it, and we're getting those studies through, approved, and acceptance into the market. The USA is a very exciting market, as Tom said. We're in collaboration with APM in scientific studies, as I said, also at the Iowa State University on its effectiveness against swine. These are key studies that just open up the swine market, and that is market, and that 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 market, and are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, hi.
Are you there?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So the studies for the swine are due out of the Iowa State University in the next, the 10th of December actually is the date, and that's been an ongoing process for the last 8 months, but with universities in lockdown, it's been delayed. We're in, as I said before, at the Georgia State University. We've been accepted there in a collaboration with Massey University in New Zealand, and we're under, between the two universities, they're running tests on poultry in New Zealand to prove its effectiveness against various viruses. Now, these viruses are game changers. If we prove effective against them, and we know we are effective against them in the field, but if we can prove we're effective against them in the laboratory, it just huge, and the volumes are huge. The difference with and what really attracted us to animal health or the livestock sector was because they grow in massive sheds, and those massive sheds take a lot of product, and there's a lot of sheds. So when we're looking at large volume sales. Europe over the last 3 to 4 months has the brakes come off. We've been waiting on approvals for animal health. We've got approvals now for DEFRA, which is the Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, which for the use of this product around animals, we had to have that approval, and we've got it now for poultry, and the swine approval is coming through. And we're very excited about that because there's been an outbreak of avian influenza in the UK, and we now have approval to deal with that in the poultry industry, and through a recently appointed animal health distributor in the UK, they are onto the biggest poultry integrators in the UK, and we're working with them daily to get our product into their sheds. So it's it's been very frustrating for everyone, but with our business, there's a lot of travel, a lot of integration with our distributors on farms, in various meetings we attend with them in their regions. We haven't been able to do that, so everything's been done over Zoom. We've got a great bunch of distributors in Europe that are enthusiastic and are breaking ground, and we're very fortunate to have got that all in place last year before the lockdown. And look, I'd like to finish by saying to the Zuno team, and they are a team, they work relentless day in, day out, and I remember the business 5 years ago, and what it is today is a credit to every one of them, and I'm sure we're going to have a great 12 months, and especially when you look at where we've come in the last 12 months, it's even going to get stronger. And thank you very much, Paul and Don.
Okay, thank you. And look, people need to understand just how hard Kevin and his partner work. Getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and driving down to the central North Island to fog chicken sheds. It's not how I'd like to spend my day, but Kevin does that. So he's going to build a huge business, I believe, within our business. So I'm going to hand it over now to Pip Hobson, our marketing manager. I know a lot of you are very curious about our marketing strategies, so I'll let Pip take it from here. She's been with us for about 3 years now. She's done a great job and in building our brand. So come in, Pip.
Hi, Paul. Thank you. So our focus in 2020, moving into 2021, can be broken into 3 key stages. During the peak of the pandemic, we focused on maximising revenues and profits whilst growing a strong customer base. Once we overcame supply difficulties, we focused on building a solid foundation and going beyond customer expectations, providing exceptional customer service and establishing ongoing communication via email and social media. The consumer that we're talking to today has changed significantly over the last 12 months. Our target consumers' needs, behaviours, perception towards germs has evolved significantly. So we've taken the time in Q4 to carry out a post-analysis to determine our 1 to 3 year strategy based on the new landscape. I'll be running through a few highlights from 2020 before touching on our plans for the following year. This year, media around the world identified Zuno as one of the most innovative sanitizing solutions available. Our ability to promote our position as leaders in innovative germ technology early on meant that we were able to secure organic media spots around the world, including coverage alongside United Airlines. Planned PR activity in the UK resulted in 51 pieces of media coverage, including the Daily Telegraph, Yahoo News, Yahoo Style. This resulted in a reach of 9.4 million. Activity across Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn allowed us to connect with our audience, alongside influencer marketing and paid ads, including Google Shopping, Google Search ads, Google Display, and Facebook ads. We were able to reach new audiences. Brand collaborations included being able to supply Zuno wipes to Qantas, as this doubled up as a powerful sampling initiative. We have revised our strategy for the new landscape and planned out the next stage of the Zuno brand evolution. We're in the process of growing a global marketing team and putting structures in place to support our global network of brand representatives. We have engaged a new team of design, ad, and media specialists to ensure Zuno is presented as a leading world-class brand. In 2021, you will see a new website, fresh new photography, new videos, and new label designs. And in 2021, we will be rolling out our new B2b marketing strategy. 2021 activity will include sponsorships, collaborations, social initiatives, continuous digital PPC support, PR, podcasts, and traditional media. We will continue to reintroduce Zuno's product range, as well as introducing MPD, which will allow us to drive incremental demand. Our UK marketing team are busy coming up with planning a strong 2021, and we will be adding a marketing role to our USA team to commence growing and establishing the Zuno brand in the US market. Adding to our global team and getting the foundations right now will allow us to continue to grow the Zuno brand on a global scale.
Fantastic, Pip. Okay, so just so you're all aware, like Pip's a tireless worker. I get emails from her at 11:30 at night and again at 6:30 in the morning. So this type of girl she is. She's a real asset to our business. She's very loyal. She's very devoted to the brand, and she's always working and running a good team. So that's the end of the presentation. So I think we're going to have the questions now. So Paul Ravlish, I think you're going to ask me the questions and I'm going to answer them. Is that right? The moderator is, okay.
Thank you. If you wish to ask a question, please type your question into the Ask a Question box. Your first question today reads, can you please comment on the impact a lack of regulatory approvals in key markets such as the US for COVID and longevity claims are having on new sales and even existing customer wins? In particular, a US distributor had promoted that Zuno had over 7,000 schools as new customers. However, this does not appear to have followed through to actual reoccurring sales.
Okay, so good question. I think we've covered a lot of the US stuff. We have US FDA approval. We have US EPA approval. All we're doing now is we are going for a new registration on a kill and protect product. So we'll be able to make kill and protect claims. And we're going for an application to get on the N list as well. What we've found difficult is to find a laboratory that we can actually get into to do the testing. We can do the testing in other parts of the world, but the EPA only accept testing done in the USA. So legally, we can sell all our products in the USA now, and we can make longevity claims. It's just COVID we have an issue with. But on the recurring revenue, we're starting to get a lot of recurring revenue now. We're having some big customer wins and expect the USA to grow exponentially in the next 12 months. Next question.
Thank you. Your next question reads, how is Zuno protecting its brand and sales from distributor pricing in both underpricing/internal distributor competition and overpricing/price gauging situations?
Okay, well, we have gouging. In China and India are the main culprits, and we're giving people a few smacks around the head as we speak, to be honest, and we'll start cancelling distribution agreements if they don't toe the line. I have no issue with turfing people out of the business who don't perform. Okay, next question.
How is the new Zuno office set up in China, addressing the challenges of adopting local culture in its approach to market?
Well, I've seen a Chinese guy up there, so there is the local culture. And we are working extremely closely with New Zealand Trade and Enterprise in China. They have given us an office within their office, so we are very much aware of the Chinese culture, working with the culture. And yeah, look, once again, I think next year we're going to see some really big things come out of China. It's not an easy place, obviously, because it's just so big. And it took us a year to get the regulatory approvals in China, but now we have the top grade Chinese healthcare approvals. So now we're out of the marketplace looking for the best customers and clients to partner with.
Thank you. Your next question reads, what is the medium-term strategy for Zuno in terms of new products and target markets, particularly in a COVID vaccine operating environment?
Okay, so we're developing new products all the time. We're bringing in a mask soon. I've manufactured 50,000. They'll be online soon. If they sell well, we've got the button ready to push to make 1 million. So masks became compulsory here in New Zealand on public transport today. So Zoono treated masks, I think, are going to be a large part of the solution. What COVID has done, it's launched Zuno as a global brand. It's going to come and go over the next few years. There is no vaccine that's 100% effective. So we are fully expecting big business globally to adopt cleanliness and hygiene regime where our product is perfect as part of their business. So we're not going anywhere. Next question.
Your next question reads, can the management team explain to shareholders how and why the vaccine doesn't materially impact Zuno, but instead complements it? Will there be a marketing push to drive awareness of this?
Yeah, there will be. So what we are a protection product, we're a prevention product, and the facilities management companies and the hygiene companies globally that we are partnering with, they see us as part of the solution. We're not the whole solution. A vaccine is not the whole solution either. So it's different solutions working hand in hand to get a total solution, and we're part of that.
Thank you. Your next question reads, why don't you advertise in Australia?
Well, we do advertise in Australia on social media, but Australia is 5% of our global sales. So let's get real. We're a global company. We're not just Australia and New Zealand. We are everywhere. So we think big, we think globally, and we do have strategies for Australia, but it's mainly working with partners in Australia and social media. Next question.
Your next question reads, compared to the high level of news flow from Zuno over the latter half of last year and early this year, why is Zuno so quiet in promoting its recent activities and wins in the market over the last 6 months?
Okay, so there's 2 reasons there. I don't like to blow our own trumpet all over the place. There's a lot of companies out there that are failing. There's a lot of people hurting. We're doing well. I don't want to continually tell people how well we're doing. Also, we have issues with the ASX. They don't like their platform to be used as a marketing platform, if you like, and they have made it very clear to us that we are not allowed to make announcements that they don't deem to be material and our level of materialism as our company has grown has increased. So we have a lot of trouble with the ASX. We don't find them cooperative at all. I've had several big arguments with them. We want to make announcements and keep the market informed, but they won't always allow us to. So what we'll do more and more in the future is bypass them and go straight to the media. Next question.
Your next question reads, when is Zuno expected to receive the US and UK approvals?
Well, we've actually got them already, and we're making strong sales in both regions. The new approval that we've applied for in the US, which is a kill and protect product, will take about another 4 months, and we expect to be on the N list about the same time, if not sooner. The N list will allow us to make COVID-19 claims. Most of our customers in the US accept the fact that we're effective against COVID because they see our test results from other parts of the world.
Your next question reads, are there any new innovative products using the Zuno molecule that will be released within the next 6 to 12 months that can drive revenue growth?
Yes, we're releasing a mask and we're releasing a kill and protect product, a bit like a 2-in-1. We do have other things in the pipeline as well, but currently, and we're also working on a nasal product as well. We've got one of the pre-eminent nasal surgeons in the world who's been trialing our product up people's noses with stunning results. So he wants to do a full clinical study on that. So lots coming down the line. Next question.
Your next question reads, what is the focus in ASEAN countries, as currently Zuno is difficult to get in Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand and Indonesia, other than ordering from online Singapore or Australia? Furthermore, brand awareness in these countries is virtually non-existent, as this part of the world will account for approximately 35% of the world's GDP by 2030. Is there a focus at Zuno to develop the business in this region? And if so, how is Zuno progressing?
Yes, so look, Asean is a big focus for us. We know how big it is. A lot of those countries, to get a regulatory approval inside the country, you've got to have a company registered inside the country. So you've got to have a local company. We don't want that because it raises all sorts of other complications, because we would have to have a local entity as the 51% partner, because you can't have a 100% owned subsidiary in those countries. So what we're doing is we are partnering with good companies like IDS Med, okay, who are a huge company. IDS MED, Google them. They are buying product offers for all those regions at the moment. They have applied for regulatory approval. And once again, we expect to be making strong sales into those countries in the new year. Any other questions? Yep, you go.
Are you able to provide year-on-year growth for the next few years?
No, I don't like to do projections. I'd rather remain understated. I've told everybody that our 2021 numbers will be better than our 20 numbers. I'm not prepared at this stage to say how much better, but they will be better. I want to be a person that when I tell you something, you believe me. I don't want to be putting wild projections into the marketplace and then having to restate earnings, and no one ever believes anything I say ever again. Okay? Next question.
Your next question reads, there were some legal challenges that Zuno had needed to sort out with some lackluster partners. Where is this at the moment?
Okay, well, the Chinese have gone away. Okay, so forget the Chinese. We're still having a bit of a scrap with a Middle Eastern outfit. We won the first round in court the other day, and we were awarded costs. They went for an injunction, it got turned down. We got awarded costs. We're on top of it. I don't mind legal action. I don't mind the scraps. But if people aren't performing in the business, or if they bullshit us when they come into the business, I will kick them right out of the business again. Okay? And that's what this.
Your next question. Your next question reads, have there been attempts to promote the alcohol-free aspect of the hand sanitizer to the MENA market?
Continuously, and we're having a lot of success in the MENA market with the alcohol-free hand sanitizer. We've just passed a major test called EN 1500 on the alcohol-free hand sanitizer, which allows us to sell directly into healthcare. It's a global approval for healthcare. Most healthcare hand sanitizers are at least 62% alcohol, as recommended by the World Health Organization, and I'm not aware of any other alcohol-free hand sanitizers that have passed EN 1500.
Your next question reads, are there any plans to expand collaboration with other MENA airlines, i.e. Qatar Airways and Etihad?
We're in front of all those airlines at the moment through distributors and partners. Yes, absolutely.
Your next question reads, with the SA outbreak caused by surface transmission, why don't we advertise the superiority of Zuno compared to alcohol-based sanitizers? It could be a game changer eliminating surface transmission.
We are doing this all the time. It's cross-contamination. It's all we do all day, every day is promote our product prevents cross-contamination on surfaces. We had to have the evidence to support that, and we've got trials coming out of the London Underground, out of the Army barracks in Australia, out of all sorts of areas that absolutely support our claims. So, yes, that's our business, and we're promoting it very heavily.
Your next question reads, firstly, I just want to thank the Zuno team for a well put together presentation pack. Is there any interest from the cruise industry, and have or are they looking at conducting a trial?
Yes, we're in the cruise industry already. We are doing trials on small luxury cruise ship. This was an initiative that was started by Kevin Story from Zuno Animal Health. He's now on the cruise ships as well. He was down in Christchurch fogging one yesterday from top to bottom. If successful, the owners of that particular cruise line want to promote us globally into the industry. We're also working through our German distributor as well, and some other distributors in other parts of the world into that industry. So yes, it's a huge target for us.
Your next question reads, has Zuno got unique product protection so it is not copied in China?
Yeah, look, the Chinese thing, they're always going to have a go. Okay? But China isn't the only issue. Like, we've got other countries as well. We focus on our brand, what we do. We try and improve our product all the time. We just focus on Zuno. If other people try and copy us, I'm flattered.
Your next question reads, what advertising mediums are actively being considered for greater brand awareness, both for B2C and B2B? Is there any plan to tap into social media influencers, for example?
Yes, we're in there now. We're all social media. We're actually talking to the BBC in the UK at the moment. They're thinking of running a story on us. We're talking to media people all the time. So, yeah, but social media, influencers, that sort of thing, big part of our business.
Your next question reads, do you see lockdowns in cities due to COVID a benefit or a hindrance to Zuno?
Look, it's a 50-50. We were negotiating with a customer, for instance, in Manchester, in the UK. He had ordered 15,000 litres a week, and he was going to be doing all the council buildings in Manchester, the schools, etc., etc., etc. So that was 60,000 litres a month. He cancelled the order when it went into lockdown, but he has told us that he'll reinstate the order when they come out of lockdown. Because no one's at work, they don't have to do it. So it's a 50-50. You win some and you lose some with the lockdowns.
Thank you. Your next question reads, why are you not targeting the defence market or the livestock shipping company?
We are. Next question.
Your next question reads, thank you for a thorough AGM presentation. Are there plans to pay an interim dividend?
It's not something I've actually thought about at the moment. It'll be a decision by the board when we wash things up at the end of December. We'll see how much money's in the bank.
Thank you. There are no further questions at this time. I'll now hand the conference back to Mr. Hislop for any closing remarks.
Okay, well, look, I'd just like to thank all the shareholders. I know it's been a bit of a wobbly year. It's been up and down, and a lot of you contact me on a regular basis. You email me, you call me. I try to talk to everyone. It's not always easy. But we at Zuno are all working hard for our shareholder partners. I can absolutely guarantee you that. And there's one particular person I would like to mention, and that's Lou McKinnon, who's the COO of the company. He's been with me from the start. He's been with me for almost 14 years at Zuno. We're a bit like the odd couple, really. And he is my right hand in the business, and he works as hard as I do, and I couldn't have built the business without Lou. Okay? And I think I'll sign off.